you. We've been in the midst of a series entitled Courage to Commit Volume 2, I Got the Keys. And keys represents the principles of God that unlock the promises of God. Each week I've given you a key. So for the last couple months, I've told you about the principle of generosity. The principle of generosity suggests that it is a heart that's willing to give that leads to a life that freely gives. I love that. I want to be a people who freely give. That's my heart's desire, man, that whatever you do in life, I want a part of what you do to be open to being a blessing to other people. I mean that, man, even with things, not just money, but even with your intellectual property. If you bumped your head and make some mistakes in entrepreneurship and you see someone striving to be an entrepreneur, freely give them some advice. If there's something, one of the things that bothers me a lot, and I tell everybody all the time, I felt like for years I was in a place where I needed help. Our church was growing exponentially, but it was so many young people, we just didn't have a lot of resources. I had to do whatever I had to do to make things happen, and I was thanking God for it, and people would always see me and say, man, I'm proud of you, keep on praying. And it was almost like people who had the resources to help me do it would only give me spiritual assets. That make any sense? Only give me spiritual assets. I would always be like, man, if God ever positioned me, I'm going to do more than pray. That's enough to tear the whole church up right there. No, I want to do more than pray. You know, I want to be responsible with my influence because there is, and this might be worth writing, a difference between popularity and influence. Popularity is about what you can get from people. Influence is about what you can get to people. No, everybody want to be popular because they're trying to make money. Influence says, if you don't do nothing for me, I want you to leave me better, even if I don't leave you with nothing. So I always wanted to be influential. I always wanted to freely give that which I have. So we talked about that principle. Then we talked about the mindset principle. What's the mindset principle, Pastor Mike? It suggests that what I believe about me often determines what I believe about God. Right? What am I trying to do, Pastor Mike? I am trying to impact how you believe you. What do you believe about you? All right, do you believe you're worth what you're praying for? Do you believe you deserve what you're praying for? That's important to mine. I'm understanding right now that some of the things I got to shift in the people who are following me isn't your ability to handle, not your ability to handle the enemy. But for many of you, I got to break down the years of generational cutting confessions you made about yourself. No, I am what God says I am. I'm going to say this. I am handsome. You are beautiful. You are intelligent. You are worth it. Here are things that sound so. I never forget, we was watching The Help, and the nanny didn't have a degree. She didn't have a master's degree. She looked at that baby and said, you is kind. You is smart. She say important. What movie y'all watch? She says you is impotent. Now, that's enough to tear the whole church up, because when I took Lady to the movie to watch it, I screamed. When you a real praiser, wherever you at, praise hits you. Yeah, she said you is kind, you is smart, you is important. In the middle of the movie, I said, and the lady looked at me, and lady elbowed me. Then about 20 minutes into the movie again, she looked back out and said, you don't ever forget you is kind, you is smart, you is important. And we got in the car, and lady's like, why are you screaming? I said, because there's a difference between important and impotent. Yeah, important means I'm valuable. Being potent means I'm powerful. Michael McClure. So while you was making fun of her language, I understood that even though she didn't say it right, she said what God wanted you to realize. That if you ever believe what's right about you, you are more powerful than what people don't think you are. I don't know who I'm preaching to. Some of y'all ought to just type, I am impotent. And if they make fun of you, let them make fun of you. But the level of power I'm finna walk in this year, the devil should have killed me when he had the chance. Because not only can you not stop me, I'm done stopping me. I believe what God said about me. So the next time you look in the mirror, you tell yourself, I'm as kind, I'm as smart, I'm as important. Because what you believe about you directly impacts what you believe about God. Yeah. So then we talked about the principle of multiplication. That suggests that God did not simply create us to maintain, but he called us to what? Multiply. We talked about the principle of freedom. It suggests that freedom is not doing whatever you want to do, it's doing what you were what? Created to do. 5 and 6, the principle of partnership suggests that trusting the wrong people will make you worse, but trusting the right people will help you win. Okay? Principle of transformation suggests that my gift will change others, but my character will change me. I want to pause and parenthetically digress. I've spent the last 2 days saying, I'm sorry and I repent. That's a character move. Gift is my ability to draw you in. Character is my ability to die so you can heal. My God. No, I got certain members that haven't handled this transition with me and music and me being absent. For those of you who came post-big, Pastor Mike was one of those pastors who was always in the trenches. I'm after church 3 hours. I'm not leaving until I talk to every single person. The half of the church had my phone number. If your child cut their finger, I would be at the house in 2 minutes watching you put the Neosporin like yada mama shatakada. But then what happens is sometimes we forget an entire pandemic happened. We forget that. Then other things started happening. And now my time is not where it used to be. I got certain members who are not handling that right. Pastor Mike, you let me down. And oh my God, I can't believe you did so and so. And so I've been spending the last 2 days letting them say what they want to say. Yeah. You know how I responded to it? Not, what do you mean? Now, I prayed for you to blow up. And then when you blew up, I was at your party. So you want me to unblow up? But then the Holy Spirit said, what's character? What's character? So what I've been doing the last 2 days, number one, I want to tell you, you got a right to feel how you feel. And number one, I apologize for what you feel. Now, intentionally, I just being from the bottom of my heart, I feel like this is a God thing. I feel like God's been doing so much since we've been doing so-and-so, and I don't want to negate what I feel God is doing, and I don't want to XYZ and do XYZ. I said, but I want to make this very clear. Whether you're at the church or not, how you feel matters more than you being a member. I said, so here's what I want to say to you. What can I do to help you heal? See, that won't make headlines. That won't make group texts. That won't make conversations. But what I'm discovering is it's hard to not do what you preach. Because I'm finna free 70 y'all. The next time you shout in church, I want you to think first. Because when you shout, not only are you saying, PMJ, I agree, you're also saying, enemy, test me. Yeah, so when I said you need to declare that this is your season of multiplication, you said, because all you thought that was going to multiply was your money. You didn't realize also with your haters. Multiplication in your problems, multiplication in your anxiety. So sometimes in order for God to elevate you, he got to test what you've been screaming about. Michael. And what I'm trying to get you to realize now is I am trying my best to be what I preach, even at the detriment of me standing down to my pride. So a lot of times we shout about this. Why this is important. Why are you doing this, Pastor Mike? I want to show you this. Because the principle of multiplication, I want to show you how excited we get. Generosity. Oh, I'm going to be a giver. Mindset. Oh, my mind is right. Multiplication. It's already mine. Freedom. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Partnership. Oh, I want the right people in my life. Transformation. Because that's one of the only principles that forces you to look at you. The principle of the pick suggests that who you choose to be in your life will either be an asset or an assault. Then we talked about the principle of the breakthrough. It suggests that breakthrough is not when you go to the next level, but when God shows you why you're stuck on your now level. Then last week we talked about the principle of discernment. Principle of discernment is our ability to recognize the difference between what's dead and what's dormant. If something is dormant, it can be revived, but if something is dead, it may need to be released. Why is that important, PMJ? Put this in your notes. I said it last week. I want to say it again. Discernment is the ability to see if something needs to be resurrected or released. Discernment is the ability to see if something needs to be resurrected or released. We need discernment because many of us are staying committed to dead stuff That's critical. This week, I talked about that, being committed to dead stuff, but I want to spend my time on something new today. Is that okay? This week, I want to explore how God is a God. This is cold-blooded, and I need you to write this. This week, I would like to explore how God is a God who is invested in not only our elevation, but our liberation. This week, I would like to examine the thought that God is a God that is not just invested in your elevation. He's also invested in your what? Liberation. God's plan for you is so you can experience not only higher levels of success, but also deeper levels of freedom. I don't think you heard what I just said. God just doesn't want you to go up. He wants you to come out. Oh my God. Liberation. Somebody shout liberation. Liberation translates to mean freedom. 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 Now, I want to argue. Do I got any English majors in here? Anybody who's a wordsmith? If you don't mind, let's do this live. Pull your phone out. Roy likes this. Look up the definition of liberation. Let's do it live in church, if you don't mind. Once you get it, throw your hand up and shout it out to me. Let's talk about the definition of liberation. The definition of, liberation. The definition of liberation. That's important. Why is that important, Pastor Mike? What is it, Roy? All right, so somebody look up freedom. This is why I like our church. We learn. Somebody look up freedom. Let's look up freedom. What's the definition of freedom? Liberation and freedom is not the same thing. That's why it's important to realize. Many of us believe that freedom and liberation are the same thing. Freedom is the act or the right to do something. Liberation means you've been set. Freedom, in most cases, is a choice. Watch this. Liberation was given. See, in order to be liberated, Michael, there must be a liberator. Michael McClure. In order to be liberated, you must have a liberator, which means freedom was you were being held hostage. Thus, somebody loved you enough to do something that may have cost them so you could be free. This is why him dying for you is so deep, because you was bound and didn't know it. So his death, Michael, liberated you. What does that mean, PMJ? Liberation is the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, Michael. Liberation is the act of setting someone free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. It is a release. The liberation, it is a release. You missed it. It is a release. It is a release. I'm going to say the definition slow and see if you can catch this. Liberation is the act of setting someone or a group of people free from imprisonment, slavery, or oppression. Do you want to know why you catch so much hell? Because the devil discovered if I kill the liberator, everybody else will remain bound. Because some people don't have enough sense to liberate them. Think about this. Everybody got in the Underground Railroad, but who's remembered? The liberator, Michael. Harriet said, I'm gonna risk my life. What qualifies you to be a liberator? I believe you are a liberator because once you get free, watch this, once you become a liberator, you obtain freedom. But the freedom you get is so precious that you cannot keep it to yourself. So you risk your freedom to go back into bondage, to liberate those who are not free. But because you like seeing people liberated, you just don't stop with them. You keep going. God ain't giving you money so you can stunt. He's giving you money so you can liberate some folk. God didn't give you anointing so you can be powerful. He gave you anointing so you could be a liberator. I need 5 folk who can shout, what does it matter if I'm free, if everybody in my circle brown? You ought to just shout, I'm the liberator. No. I had a brother say to me in tears, he said, Pastor Michael, I can't believe you're moving your church all the way out there to Valleydale Road. What about us over here? I said, I'm still coming to do what I got to do, because where I do it from change. The mission don't. And I want to free somebody. Stop thinking people are going to understand you. The oppressed can hardly understand the radical who's screaming for liberation. If everybody's going left and you standing here and say, hey y'all, let's go right. Some people, look, this is cold-blooded right here. Some of us will never become what God desired for us to become because we believe comfort is freedom. Michael, I'm preaching if you receive it. We think comfort is freedom. Your bill's paid. You ain't got to lock your door no more. No, you know where you're going to eat tomorrow. You know what you're going to drive the next week. So what happens is the devil realized I messed up by attacking them. The biggest way to keep them bound is to leave them alone. Because if I leave them alone long enough, they going to think where they are is safe. Okay, I'm finna preach to three of y'all. I grew up in Inslee. Okay, this just not for my over the mountain saints. This for my under the mountain saints. Under the mountain saints, I need y'all to be real with me right here. Who got grown, went back the way you live, and said to yourself, oh my God, I didn't even realize I was in danger. Now, I ain't trying to be funny. But remember, we used to be outside at 1 o'clock in the morning, throwing the football in the streets, eating candy, bebops, laughing, talking. When we would hear people did stuff, it didn't even scare us. Who remember flipping off of stuff and you weren't even scared you would break a bone? We would literally get on the edge of a car, flip off that. You got your big old self on a little bitty bike, lifted it up and was saying, I'm popping a wheelie. Now that you 40, you like the devil is a liar. You was in danger and didn't even know it. But once you became aware of the dangers around you, you started realizing, I'm preaching to 5 of y'all. This is why some of y'all falling out with your circle. It's because they still ignorant to what the devil is doing, but you messed around and came to Rock City. So now your discernment like, no. So now they telling you stuff like, why you acting scary? I'm not acting scary. I'm acting alert. I realize if I don't bust a move, y'all ain't never gonna come out. And I don't expect the oppressed to understand what a liberator deals. Michael, I know everybody ain't gonna shout, and this is the problem. It's too many liberators watching this stream when in actuality your circle should be on it with you. So I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to go ahead and share this with everybody you trying to free. Just shoot them a text and say, girl, bruh, he's talking to us. Because what is the use of you getting saved, getting healed, getting whole, getting out of debt, fixing your credit, getting your money, getting a degree, getting a relationship if you don't have no circle that's going to insulate you? I want to speak by faith. I want to pray a prayer of protection over every liberator. I don't know who I'm preaching to in here, but look at your neighbor and tell him I would shout for you, but I don't know how you built, baby. So this shout is just for me. I'm shouting because I got a heart to free everybody connected to me. Right, I feel my first praise getting ready to hit me right here. But if you know God's getting ready to anoint you to free everything connected to you, this next shout ain't about a bill, it ain't about money, it ain't about overflow. God, give me strength to deal with the attack because I'm trying to liberate. Somebody shout, I'm a liberator. So no, this is important. Why? Because God is not just concerned with your elevation. He's also concerned with your liberation. Because God could easily free us from things, but I've learned that it's more difficult for God to free us from ourselves. God could easily free us from things, but it's harder for God to free us from ourselves. That's critical. Why? The Bible is inundated with instances that support this statement. Most notably, in the lives of the children of Israel, God leads them out of Egypt into the promised land. When we meet them in Exodus chapter 13, God has gotten them out of Egypt, but he still has not gotten Egypt out of them. If I can say it the right way, you can take a child out of Egypt, but you can't take the Egypt out the child. They have escaped, put this in your notes, they have escaped physical bondage, but not mental bondage. Yeah. They have been freed from a place, but not freed from a perspective. That's critical, ain't it? I needed to liberate my kids' minds. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. I don't have the patience. No, you get 2 questions wrong, I'm just going to hit you. Pray for me. I need to grow up. Hey, what's 2 plus 2? 5? All right, let's do 2. That's 4. What's 2 plus 2? 3? Get up. I'm sorry. No, I don't know how to do it. So I had to find the liberator. That was Perio. That's Perio, one of our teachers at Rock City Prep. So for the last 1.5 years, 2 years, I've been paying Perio to be a tutor for my boys because I realized there were some places in their life I could liberate. I want to pause and parenthetically digress. Some of us going to stay bound because we want one person to free us in every area. There are some places you won't be freed from because they don't have the expertise, the discernment, or the insight to free you from it. Ooh. No, I need liberators. When it comes to my mental health, I need a liberator. There are certain things I can't pray off of you. Don't put that pressure on me. No, you've been crazy for a long time. Come on now. You've been crazy for a long time. You got years in this. So now you want me to stand on this altar and pray that off of you in one prayer? What? So then you come back to me and say, it didn't work. I know. I didn't believe when I prayed it. No, you need a liberator. You need somebody who can deal with your childhood trauma. Somebody who's skilled enough to deal with the deep-rooted issues that you have. That's why at this church, I believe in prayer and counseling. Y'all don't like me today because I've discovered I can preach you out of something, but I sometimes can't. I want to say that better. I can preach you out of something, but sometimes it's hard for me to preach it out of you. So I believe, I want to say it like this. It is my job to teach you out of it. But then there are certain seasons of your life where you got to find somebody to help pull it out of you. That's good, ain't it? I'm preaching. I'm teaching. This is a great sermon by myself. I want to say this. Go to Exodus chapter 13, verse 17. When Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through the Philistine territory, even though that was the shortest route to the promised land. I never noticed that scripture like that. Because all we know is because we preach for shouts. He said, Pharaoh, let my people go. And for most of us, the next time we see them is at the Red Sea. But look at this. When Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through the Philistine territory, even though that was the shortest route to the promised land. God brings them out of Egypt, but not using the path they expected. God has given them a promise, but they aren't fully prepared for it. So he decides to use an unpredicted path to prepare them for their promise. What if you can only reach places that you desire the most by taking a path you expect the least? Can I ask you that, Quinn? What if you can only reach the places you desire the most, but God will have to take you through a path you desire the least? This is what I would like to call today, put this in your notes, the principle of the detour. The principle of the detour. The principle of the detour states that God can use an undesired route to get you to a desired result. The principle of the detour suggests that God can use an undesired route to get you to a desired result. What does that mean, Pastor Mike? God takes them on a detour. And Dr. Tony Evans, in his book Detours, defines them as this. Here's a definition of a detour. According to Dr. Tony Evans, the brilliant pastor out of Dallas, Texas. He says, an unexpected shift in a preferred route to a desired destination. That is a detour. All right, I want to talk about this. This is critical. Number one, let's put this in your notes. Detours aren't desired. Let's be honest, we don't like detours. We like shortcuts. There's a difference between a detour and a shortcut. One gets you there quickly, another one gets you there safely. Michael. One gets you there quickly, one gets you there safely. So if you've been to Irondale lately, anybody been to Irondale lately? When you come up the hill in Irondale, most of us normally keep straight and go all the way over to get on 119, right? So what happens now is they're doing construction. So as soon as you get to the bottom of the hill, it is now blocked, and they force you now to go either left or right. So you have to go left all the way down a road I never knew existed, all the way back up a road I never knew existed, only to pass a Taco Bell that I did not know existed, that I had to stop by to see if it was talking about what it was talking about, and it was talking about it. Then I got out of that driveway, then I ended up right there by Mercedes. And on the other side of Mercedes, I looked at the shortcut. I want to free you. Had I bypassed the detour and kept going, probably would have killed myself. Because on the other side of the detour is a rock slide. On the other side of the detour, the road is no longer there because they're cutting it open. On the other side of the detour is a ditch that you could fall into that many of us don't even know. And I discovered many of us keep crashing because we're trying to get somewhere quickly. And we're not mature enough to understand God's trying to get us there safely. Oh, that's good, ain't it? And if I could preach and be honest and parenthetically digress, I wish I could get back most of my 30s. Because I spent most of my 30s trying to get somewhere quickly, that had I took time and got there safely, it wouldn't have cost me as much money as it did, as many headaches as it did, as many long nights as it did. Why, Pastor Mike? Because live long enough, you will learn that the shortest route isn't always the best route. It is the principle of the detour. Exodus chapter 13 verse 17 shows us that. God says, and it's so critical, he literally says, even though that was the shortest route to the promised land. So I want to talk about this. Number one, detours are not desired. I want to free you real quickly. Many of us don't want to take a detour. Your plan was to graduate from high school, go straight to college, 3-4 years, finish college, get a master's. You should have your own business, $75 million, 2.5 kids. I never understood what the 0.5 was. Got to keep from another marriage. I don't know what we got to talk about this 0.5 we've been talking about for years. 2.5 children, a dog, picket fence, vacation house, a truck and a car, and under 100 pounds. Look at all these detours I see in here today. But that was not your route. And God says, no, I could have been got you there. There's only one problem. What? You wouldn't have been ready. Michael. Number one, detours aren't desired. Number two, I'm almost done with the message. You better catch up. Detours aren't designed. Just because you are on a path you don't desire does not mean it is a path God didn't design. I want to say it again. Detours are designed. I think I said that wrong. Detours are designed. All right, so if you ever see a detour, the person working the detour didn't find it. Michael. No. If you ever see a detour, the person working the detour didn't find it. If you're ever in your car and you pull up to a sign that says detour, the man standing there in the vest didn't find the detour. He's working the detour. There is somebody sitting in the office who had already did the schematics, did the maps, walked through it, got the detour approved, because they just can't do a detour because they want to. Neighborhood got a vote on it. City got a vote on it. Once the detour has been approved, y'all don't catch what I'm preaching. Then they say it is now deemed safe enough, watch this, for the person who's taking it and the people who's going to watch them take it. Because every detour is experienced by two parties. The person who's taking it, three parties. The person who's taking the detour, the people who are being disrupted by the detour, and the person who's working the detour. And if you live for God, at some point in your life, you're going to be one of the three. Because in certain seasons of my life, I have to guide you in directions you don't want to go. And I've discovered the person who picked the detour is at home. The person who's working the detour getting cussed out. This don't make no sense. My house right there. You acting like this your street. You fussing at the person who ain't doing nothing but trying to pay their bills. And I've discovered this is why helping people who don't have discernment hurts you. It hurts you because you're looking at them saying, don't you know this safe? But they got an attitude because they looking back at you saying, but it take too long. And they don't realize sometimes God does not expedite, he marinates. Michael, sometimes he does not expedite, he marinates. Sometimes he does not put it in a microwave. Sometimes he marinates it. He puts you in something that you don't want to be in because he realized I just don't need the flavor to be on you. I need the flavor to be in you. And some of the seasons of your life had nothing to do with what's on you. God said, I'm trying to put something greater. Greater is he that is. So just because you're on a path you don't desire does not mean the path ain't designed.
I agree. I agree.
Can I free you? I am the senior pastor, Rock City Church. I hate detours. Hate them. Hate them. Hate them. I was walking through the church today. I was so proud. Like I'm proud of stuff. Like we busted the floors in the women's bathroom. Brand new floors. Pretty gray tile floors. White grout. I put HD lights in the women's restroom. Selfies finna be on another level. I snatched up every toilet. Brand new toilets. Just for all the ladies and the men at the Rock City Church. It's gonna be so pretty in there. I'm gonna put a flower in there. I'm doing stuff now. Let me see what the scent smells like. I just want it nice. I mean, and hear me when I say this. I was looking at that. Had God gave me this at 25, we would have been in this thing unfinished. You wanna know why? I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I'm gonna free somebody. Have you ever knew something was coming and you didn't plan? Then at the last minute you tried to make it incredible? And so you went to order it, and because you waited the last minute you had to pay overnight fees? Michael, because when you fail to see what's coming and plan, you penalize you from experiencing it with ease. And what I've discovered is we so busy trying to get where we're going fast, we're not getting there safe. I want to talk about this because just because it's not what you desire doesn't mean it's not what God designed. So whenever we have Stellar Awards and all that, I try to put my best foot forward. So I got this guy named Felipe he's like a designer for me. He keep me fresh, right? So Felipe keep me real fresh. Last year, we almost got to fighting because he was trying to put me in this double-breasted suit look. He was like, gonna be double-breasted, vents open in the front, the button gonna be here, button gonna be here. I was trying to explain to him about a stomach. I was like, okay, certain stomachs ain't built. Can we be honest, church? Certain stomachs ain't built for certain looks, okay? The way my stomach's set up, I'm more of a chest high person. If we could find a way to bring all the attention here, we can somewhat forget about what's going on down here, okay? He was like, no, trust me. Me and him about to fight because he tells me, I got another look for you, don't even worry about it. The day of the Stellars, day before the Stellar, he tells me, let's go try it on. We get to the fitting and it's exactly what I told him don't buy. But I got people in front of me filming. I can't do it out. So I'm sitting and I'm filming. I'm in this point to the point where I'm almost in tears because I already got anxiety. I'm half insecure, I'll be honest with you. So now, this whole day, I'm finna be talking on my pictures like this. Cause I'm like, I'm finna kill you, Felipe. Till I tried it on. Glory to God. I tried it on and I was like, oh my, then I turned to the side. Then I turned to this side. I didn't have to do this. And I was sitting, I was like, yeah. So I said, Felipe, what you did? I said, I have been eating right. He said, no, you haven't. Because you know how you try to take credit real quick. I did have a salad yesterday, now that I think about it. He's like, no, you didn't do nothing. He said, I had it made for you. He said, but because I had it made for you, he said, now the things you are insecure about have been designed to fit your insecurities. See, detours are custom built to fix what you are failing at. God gives you a detour in an area that you have a deficiency. Michael, God gives you a detour in an area that you have a deficiency. So if you have pride, God gives you a detour that checks your pride. The problem is you don't realize it's checking your pride till you come out on the other. Am I preaching to anybody? That's why the songwriter said, when I look back, because it's hard to look forward and shout because you're dealing with all the detours. But it's 7 of y'all in the room and in the chat who can say, Pastor Mike, now that I think about it, it was that detour that made me who I am. See, your neighbor ain't shouting because they still bitter, because they sitting at a right that they don't want to take. So just reach over that neighbor and high five another neighbor and shout, praise them for the detours. Shout for every exit you didn't want to take. Shout for every left turn he made you make. Shout for every stop sign you had to sit at. Millions didn't make it, but I'm one of the ones who did. I dare you to touch 5 people and shout, I came out on the other side. Somebody shout, it's designed for me. Put this in your notes. Design. Put that in your notes. Write it. Put that in your notes. Dre, since I'm on screen, I can be a little creative. Put that on the screen for me. DESIGN. Design. Use it in a sentence. Whenever you see a detour, it is the sign that you're headed in the right direction. That was ghetto, wasn't it? Use it in the sentence. I'm in the spelling bee right now. Pastor Mike, spell design. Design. Home of origin. Design. 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 Is it English? Design. Design. Can you pronounce it one last time? Design. Design. Can I use it in a sentence? Use it in a sentence. Whenever you don't want to do what God called you to do and he make you go another route, that is design that you need to see that he's heading you in the right direction. Okay. DESIGN. Correct. Design. And what I'm trying, so whenever you think of something being designed for you, it is designed for you. Whenever you think of something being designed for you, that means it is the sign for you. Okay, I want to free you. You don't know why everybody ran from Goliath? He wasn't designed for them. They haven't got measurements. So when something's tailored for you, they don't just fix it by looking at you. They fix it by getting your measurements. If you ain't in shape, it's one of the weirdest things you'll ever do in your life, all right? They make you stand completely still and they measure your leg from here to here. Boom, that's cool. From here to here. Then they do something, hold your arms up, and they wrap it around your whole chest, all right? So now you're trying to figure out how to make that look a certain way. Boom, then they wrap it around your stomach, and then if it's somebody like the African lady we use, Theoda, she gonna make look coming like, ooh, like it's just little things. Theoda, so you lift your hands up, she's like, okay. Then they look at where you were last. You're like, been a good year, ain't it? Like, look, get the measurements. Like, I can talk about, I'll light you up in this joint. So you in that thing, and they design you. That means they come get measurements. You want to know why everybody else ran from Goliath? They hadn't been measured for it. How do I know David had been measured for it? Because he had fought lions. He had fought bears. He had fought wolves. Every attack leading up to Goliath was him being tailored.
Yes, sir.
If a bear stand up, it feels like a giant. If a bear stands up, it feels like a giant. So now David got to see if he can reach high heights. If a lion roars, that feels like the trash Goliath would talk. If a wolf shows up, he shows up in a pack like Goliath showed up with an army. So when they saw Goliath, they said, this ain't for me. David saw Goliath and said, I think that's my design. And because it's my design, this is the sign that I'm different from everybody else, because I am a liberator. Somebody better shout, he preaching to me right here. 300 folk out of just like, my God. But you don't get that from a shortcut. What if David would have ran from the lion, took a shortcut from the bear, took a shortcut from the wolf? He would have did exactly what everybody else did. Put this in your notes. No shortcuts. No shortcuts. All right. I can stop lying now because I'm just free from it. So I had weight loss surgery like in 2019, right? All right. Who knew that? Did anybody know that? Okay, cool. God bless you. I'm just tired of lying. It's hard. To this day, people still be asking me, like, man, how did you lose all that weight? And look, I went to Mexico. I'm going to be very clear with you. I went to Mexico. I couldn't take it no more. Almost died. That's what y'all don't know. Almost died. Had all this stuff going on internally. Diabetes runs heavy in my family. My doctor said, no, we got to do something. You, like, at the pace you running, 8 services, all this stuff, you ain't going to make it. I said, what I need to do? He said, look, you need to have surgery. I went to Mexico. Boom. Went to Mexico, laid on table, woke up skinty. Okay? Well, not actually. You know how you got to go home. So then I'm just, boom, all that stuff. But there was so many blessings in my detour. I wake up from my surgery, right? And think about this, I'm gassed. I wake up from the surgery. This lady looks at me and says, Pastor McClure, we had complications. I said, went back out. So I wake up screaming, what's wrong? They was like, no, I had an issue when I was a baby that my sorry mom and daddy, we'd already fought about this. My mom and daddy thought they fixed. I had this issue, this hiatal hernia, where almost like my stomach was growing through my chest wall cavity or something. So all these years for people who used to go to our church, I would be preaching every now and then go like this. It's because it was just coming through. So they called, said, Mama, they just told me I had a birth defect or something. She was like, oh, I thought they fixed that. I'm like, I could have died, and you over here talking about they thought they, yeah, you know, we was military babies. We was in Tacoma, Washington. You know, Dee was born in Germany, so over there in Germany, they told us they had fixed, I thought they had fixed. Like, dude, I'm like, okay, so I come back home, so then, I can't eat. Then all of a sudden, I just get slim. Like, when I say slim, I'm, 210. I'm walking around enjoying skinny. I'm parking ministry now. Like, God bless you, man. God bless you, man. I care about my clothes. There's only one problem. The surgery is a shortcut. If you get the surgery, but don't change your habits, it comes right back. Here go the scary part. It comes back in places that you be looking in the mirror like, what is this? If I move the wrong way now, I'd be like, oh my God. Because the shortcut was meant to jumpstart a new lifestyle. But when I went and got my surgery, on the van with me was people who was on their third one. They had developed a dependency on shortcuts. So maybe gambling is a type of shortcut. Because the long route is tithing. The long route, the detour from what the world is saying is tithing and trusting God. Now I tell you what, no, I'm good. Somebody told me that if I get them $1,200 and I find 6 people who are going to give me $1,200, in 6 weeks I'm going to have $36 million. So now you're on Instagram stressed because somebody just came on your screen and said, I know you're sitting there wondering how you're going to get that money. You want to drive this car. You want to live in this house. You want to wear these shoes. Buy my 12-step program. I can get you there in 36 days. All you got to do is wake up in the morning, buy a house, flip that house, put all the furniture in that house, sell that house for $36 million. You take that $36 million, buy you a plane. Now you put a whole basketball team on the plane. And they don't tell you that will almost, I'm walking with somebody who's doing it, take your whole life trying to fix how many failures you had and how many low points you had just to get. They want to look at you and say, hey, we have the perfect marriage, so if you listen to us, we'll tell you. And I'm like, no, don't say that. No, don't say that. Don't make me think. That's why in my church I say stuff to you like, hey, I don't care how much money you put in the offering. If your lifestyle crazy and you make dumb decisions, it's not coming back. It's not. No. The same way your check get garnered, sometimes your blessings get garnered. Y'all missed what I just said. Have you ever got a paycheck but you was in the negative? Don't be bougie. Why are you sitting here being bougie? In the comments, put your hands up if I'm talking to you. Have you ever got a paycheck but you was in the negative? And can you remember how hard that hit your stomach? Can you remember how excited you was that whole day? Like, oh, shoot, I ain't doing nobody say it's going to be a good day for me. Now, all of a sudden, you get on your phone or you get to a computer and you look at it. And then somebody walk up to you because you done already made plans. Great work. Not right now. Because that 1,000 was supposed to hit, but you was -6. So now it's like 374.14. And you sitting there like, oh my God. What if I told you I believe there are instances in our life where God opened the windows of heaven and our lifestyle and the principle of the pick killed it, or watch this, strained it before it could get to you.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that.
A shortcut gets you there faster, but a detour gets you there better. A shortcut is a route you found. A detour is a route that has been planned. Think about it. Your conversation said, no, we cool. I found this shortcut. All we got to do is cut through this neighborhood. So now you're driving 70 through a residential neighborhood and hit a child to prove you can get there 6 minutes earlier for people who ain't going to be there till 20 minutes after you get there. Michael. You want to know how to discover? When God takes them the long way, he is practicing something we would like to call pain prevention. I got to stop. Y'all tired of me. Pain prevention. Here's the question. How much of the pain you could have prevented? How much of your pain could have been prevented? Here's a question I would love to ask you today. How much of your pain could have been prevented? Because sometimes in order to prevent pain, you must change paths. Verse 17 says, this is critical. I never paid attention to this. Some of us don't understand the Bible because we never read it for ourselves. So we interpret what we were told. So you say, hey, he told Pharaoh, let my people go. And then all of a sudden they was at the Red Sea. And he said, what's in your hand? He parted the Red Sea. No, here's what happened. When Pharaoh finally, because keep in mind, Pharaoh fought. That's why we had all these deadly plagues. God kept causing stuff to happen to convince Pharaoh to let his people go. After Pharaoh couldn't take it no more, he said, look, let them people go. God did not lead them through the main road. In other words, God said, no, don't. If we take 459, we can get them there tomorrow. God said, nah, take them the back route. Why, God? Because even though that was the shortest route to the promised land, look at the scripture. God said if the people are faced with a battle, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. You missed it. You missed it. If they're faced with a battle, he didn't say they would lose it. They said at the sight of it, they would just go backwards. Some of y'all running from stuff you could have fought. No, he says at the sight of it. That's critical. Why? God knew that the shortest route would force them to have to fight before they were ready. And they could never win a battle with their hands that they had already lost with their head. Jesus Christ. They would never win. Why does God sometimes take you the shortest route? Why does God sometimes take you the longest route? Because had he took them on the shortest route, they probably would have encountered a battle. He says, I'm going to take them the long route because it's hard to win a battle with your hands that you have already lost in your head. Can I free you? Many of us have already lost a battle in our head. When I tell you my self-belief on another level right now, oh my God, I'm him. I'm Himothy. Hemi neutron. Lord Hemitheus. Hear me, and I say that, you want to know why? Not because of what I win. I don't know many people who can handle my losses, my hurts, my pains, my frustrations. And, you know, and I've kind of developed this uncanny knack to just trust God. And what I'm trying to get my church to realize more than anything, that prayer, tithing, being faithful, staying committed, ain't about what you're doing. It's about what you're sending. It sends a message to heaven that I trust you. So can I ask you a question? What made you change your mind? God literally had to consider that the people he was attempting to liberate and elevate might change their mind and go back to bondage. Can I ask you a question? You're going to start a business. What changed your mind? You said 2023 going to be the year I. Now we at the halfway mark, 6 months. We are officially at the halfway mark of 2023. It's over. We finna go to bed. They're going to be back in school. Go to bed again. We're going to be eating Thanksgiving. Go to bed again. It's going to be watch night. So the question I want to ask you today is, what changed your mind? They left Egypt on an emotional high. They had experienced signs and wonders. They've seen plagues and plunder. God knew that even after all that, it was possible for them to change their mind. Why, Pastor Mike? Because emotions can make a decision, but not maintain one. My brother gave me that point. Emotions can make a decision, but not maintain one. That's why you get mad and break up and get right back. That was emotional. You ain't made a cognitive one yet. He said, no, y'all excited. Y'all excited. That's why even when it comes to prayer, when I say, hey, we're going on a 21-day prayer, let's go. By that 27th day, you back not praying because it was emotional. You know what I discovered? Some of the worst Sundays are the Sundays we shout, because those were the most emotional Sundays. Can I free you real quickly? Stop making emotional decisions. Live with it. Live with it. I'm preaching really good today. Number 3, put this in your notes and we're going to go home because y'all tired of me. Detours are for your development. Thank you, Jesus. Detours are for your development. We was in the car today. I woke up in Nashville this morning, right? So I woke up in Nashville this morning, and Terrell and I jump in the car and we head back. So we head back, and I have anxiety driving in new cities. I know y'all, I always tell y'all, I don't know why I tell y'all my issues so much, but I have anxiety driving in new cities, okay? So anybody who listens to my sermons can tell you, oh, he ain't gonna like that. Like, I just hate not knowing where I'm going. Oh my God. So Terrell in the passenger seat, I'm driving. I'm like, okay, which way we going? He said, make a right here, sir. I look down at my GPS, it says keep straight. I'm like, no. So I just keep straight. I was like, look, man, get your stuff together. I'm in Google. Like, that's a fireable offense. Like, hear me, like, in my head. I'm like, Terrell, like, help me, man. I'm you know how I get. I'm in Google Maps. He in Waze. You already know where it's going. So I'm in Google Maps. I'm like, no, Google Maps said go straight. He said in the most polite, respectful voice, because he could have said, look, do what you want to do. He looked at me and said, sir, I'm in Waze. Then he took his finger and he opened it up. He said, maybe they're trying to keep us from this. And like 6 blocks ahead was all these little policemen heads and red lights and warnings. I look at Google Maps. It ain't nothing. I said, That made me think of levels of discernment. One level of discernment knows the destination. Another level of discernment knows the detours. So sometimes you're going to be connected to people that y'all don't agree. What if you stop for 1 second and say, maybe they've been in this long enough to know the detours. You know what I mean? So when I try to help young pastors, and I tell them all the time, that's one of the most challenging things to do, because whenever you tell somebody something they shouldn't do, you're going to by default with this generation be a hater. Then they get in their feelings. It's just weird. It's just super weird. I promise you, it's just super weird. And again, sometimes I just try to say, hey, if I was you, I wouldn't do that. And what I had to learn was stop being a slave to my opinion. My opinion is just that, an opinion. So now I just say, hey, if I was you, I wouldn't do that. I don't think that's going to work well. And the reason I say that is because I've had to take that detour. So I tried my best, like, hey, do me a favor. Like with Pastor Hollis, one of the things I was so proud of him about, I said, hey, we could send people to sing with you. You could ask this person to sing with you. I want you to win singers. I said, I want to tell you why. When I started Rock City Church, I never forget I had a group of people coming to sing for me. And I never forget one Sunday I started preaching. It was probably the 5th Sunday we would ever exist. We had no members to this point. Keep in mind, I'm having full-fledged vision means with no people in the crowd. I had a vision, boy. So so I'm noticing when y'all sing praise and worship, y'all ain't walking and y'all ain't greeting. Like, so when you sing, look at people and smile. And they look at me like, you do know ain't nobody in here, right? And I said, and don't ever just come to church. We had church at 9 o'clock at the Fairfield Civic Center. They would get there at 8:45. I said, hey. I said, no, you be there about 8:30, about 8 o'clock. And I never get they reminded me, you know, we just helping you. My church started at 10:30. I said, ooh. I said, say less. So when I saw him hold a worship camp and he won people and people were excited, I was like, that's what I'm talking. Because I've seen that detour. I've seen that detour. You know what I'm saying? Because after a while, the excitement wears off. Now that drive or the feeling of it being new or well, you know, I was excited. Like, so sometimes God gives you people who are so committed. You only get one, maybe two roofs. So one of the things we do in life is we try to make every person in our circle roof. You don't get a lot of roofs. You got a lot of Judases. You don't get a lot of roofs. So what I'm discovering in my life right now, even when it comes to my friends and people in my life, I have people telling me, nah, if I was you, I would not do this with a record label. I would not do this with so-and-so. If I was you, I wouldn't do this. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm taking all of your advice into account. And now I'm praying about it. You want to know why? Because I've discovered, watch this, certain people who are healed, this is good, Amanda. People who are healed can lend you advice from a detour. People who are still bitter will give you the fears of the detour. So it ain't that the detour ain't right. It's what mindset are you in when you told me. That's good. No, do me a favor. You don't want to get married. Whoa. Yes, they don't say that to them. So because your marriage crazy don't mean their marriage is going to be crazy. You feel me? There are some positives. There are some negatives. The Bible calls it grace. The Bible says, Paul says that some of us aren't called to the bigness of marriage. Then he says to others, you have been given the gift of singleness. So singleness and being married are both gifts. Everybody ain't grace for both. Jesus wasn't grace for marriage. He had an assignment. Paul wasn't grace for marriage. He had an assignment. Y'all missed what I just said. The disciples left their family. Had we been on Shade Room today, Shade Room would be posted Peter, James, John, deadbeat daddies. Deadbeat daddies running behind some man claiming he gonna change everybody's life. Perspective. So God led them, look at verse 18, a roundabout way through the wilderness. Number one, detours aren't desired. That's a tongue twister. Number two, detours are designed. Number three, detours are for your development. God led them a roundabout way through the wilderness toward the Red Sea. Thus the Israelites left Egypt like an army ready for battle. God leads them the long way to develop their discipline. Through the wilderness, Watch this. Though they're in the wilderness, it's a place they didn't pick and didn't prefer, but it was the place God had chose to prepare them. Is your preference hindering your preparation? You want to know what I'm excited about? Many of you are going to start getting emails and calls from our ministry department because we need more volunteers. Where my welcome team at? Give me a what? Y'all remember Forestdale, 2 of y'all could man that whole sanctuary, couldn't it? I got this though. It was certain days, Miss Leslie, Miss Jimmy, Miss Yolanda, there'll be 3 people. We got it. Go on, sit down. We got it, y'all. I got this though. You get in the middle, you get on that end. Come on, go that way. Come on, go that way. Come on, go that way. I look at him. Hey, I'm sorry. Come on, go that way. Come on, go that way. But now it's 5 doors to get into the sanctuary. 6 aisles. There's a whole balcony. Can you imagine you? Come on, come through this. Hold on. You stay right there. Stay right there. Slide up. Come back. Hey. I'm like, no. That's not going to work now. We need more people to get involved to help people. Or in other words, I thank God that the church ain't ready just yet. It gives me another couple weeks to use this detour for development. So now, y'all gonna look up in one of these Tuesdays, one of these Wednesdays, you're gonna come to church and they're gonna be like, no, go upstairs. And you're gonna be like, ooh. And we're gonna have church upstairs. We're gonna get to practice on each other. Like, come on, do me a favor. Let's hold on, start over. Hey, why is she walking right there? Tell her, go, start over, go back. What's her name? What's that? Keisha. Go back. You can't let them do that. Come on, give God a hand clap. Give God a hand clap. Give God a hand clap of praise. Detours give us room for development. You get that? Let's go home on this. Stand to your feet. Maybe the place you're in right now isn't the place of purpose, but it might be the place of preparation. I want to argue, what if God is preparing you? I know you don't like detours, and I don't like them either. I know you wish you can go from A to B. Who wish they could wake up in the morning? Think about stuff we say. I wish I could wake up in the morning skinny, rich, everything. But it's a process. And what I've discovered is if God gave you it without preparing you for it, it would consume you. So Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray for maturity in the detour. I pray right now for discernment in the detour. God, where some of us are may not be a place of purpose, but it is a place of preparation. So God, I wish above all things that we would prosper even as our soul prospers. I wish above all things that everybody under the sound of my voice would have no lack in their life. But sometimes lack is a detour. God, I wish above all things, because God, wish my members had every dime they needed, but sometimes being broke taught me management. Sometimes being broke taught me discipline. I wish above all things, God, that every relationship in this room was perfect. No arguments, no fussing, no stress, no pressure. But sometimes there are detours where we discover things about each other that may hurt us emotionally. But if we both stay committed and stay locked into God, we'll develop spiritually. God, don't let us be a people who begin to complain about the detours. Because I've discovered, God, every detour was designed and carefully crafted by you. So in this moment, God, as we're in the midst of a corporate detour, we're not physical in church, we're virtual every week, we're having to do what we have to do so we can reach everybody we need to reach. I thank you for a church that's riding with me through a detour. I thank God for those who watch from across the world who have decided virtually to make this their church home. They love their church, they love their pastor, they love their Devo energy. God, I thank you for each and every one of them. I thank you for those in this city, God, who make this place go. Without them, it wouldn't be able to do half the things we do. I just thank you for being God. I pray right now for every person under the sound of my voice who's in a relational detour, battling separation, breakups, and divorce, or sometimes even death. God, I've had to deal with losing somebody who was important to me. I've had to start over in my 30s. I'm going through a breakup in my 20s. It's hard. God, I don't diminish or downplay anything. Somebody's been dating 6 weeks and now they're having to go through another breakup. And although that breakup wasn't that deep, it just triggered one that was. So God, in this moment, give us peace in the midst of detours. God, I thank you right now because I believe by faith on the other side of the detour, one songwriter said, there will be glory after this. So God, I know things sometimes don't go the way we wished and the way we hoped, but my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and his righteousness. The songwriter said, I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. Then he followed it by saying, on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All of the ground is sinking sand. So God, right now, give us a strength to be who you called us to be. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Can you clap your hands and tell God you love him? Don't go nowhere. Listen, as you're getting ready to leave, getting ready to log out, number one, I just want to tell you, I believe what God has for you is absolutely for you. We are praying for you. We love you from the depths of our heart. I am so excited about what I see. Can you do me a favor? Just type, look at somebody and shout, I see something. I see. And this time it is so big, man. Hear me when I say this. I see God opening doors. I am prophetically declaring into the atmosphere the God of the recompense. The God of the recompense. What does that mean, Pastor Mike? Everything you've sowed and sacrificed is getting ready to come back to you this year. You need to shout, I receive that. Come on, somebody type, somebody shout, I receive that. What's the word I need you speaking? It is the God of the recompense. What life, what bad decisions, what relationships, what failures, what success took from you, I'm prophetically declaring God is about to give you that back and more. For he is the God of the recompense. Here's a good place to give God praise. God keeps receipts. And I want to speak by faith. You're overdue for a blessing and a breakthrough. Somebody shout, I receive all that. So I'm praying for you. I love you. Do your pastor a favor. I mean this. We want you to get involved, especially those of you who live close enough. It ain't nothing but a drive. Here's a new slogan for you. A church alive is worth the drive. A church that makes you come alive is worth the drive. If you're anywhere between any neighboring city and you consider yourself a part of Rock City Church, you see that number right there. Text that number, stay committed. We're getting ready to do a whole lot of training so we can get people deeper involved. We're growing exponentially. I want to make sure that those who serve don't also miss the word. So we have a huge choir, and I'm pushing James now. Like, yes, we got a huge choir, but what do we let some of them sing at this service so they can get a word at this service? Some sing at this service. And I just want to make sure that we're not so busy doing for God that we miss growing in God. And that's just all over, man. I mean that from the depths of my heart. I am super excited about what God is doing to everybody who's part of Devo Energy. Hear me when I say this. Pastors from across the country are now calling me saying, what is this thing that your church is doing? Because our members are not telling us we need a Devo Energy. Well, number one, it is trademark, and I will send every natural lawyer I got in Jesus' name to sue you, your mama, and your church. We ain't playing about Devo Energy in Jesus' name. Can I get a what? It is ours. But you can have your version of it in Jesus' name. No, but the thing that makes Devo Energy so powerful is that anybody, we broke a curse and y'all don't realize that. For years, they said if the pastor wasn't doing it, nobody would come. But every morning, people log on to hear from people, not just from a man or some superstar preacher, none of that stuff. It is us talking about what God is doing with, through, and in, and for us. And I would like to grow that team. So if you feel God is calling you, you don't have to be perfect. You just got to have a heart that's willing to be transparent and share with God. Your beliefs got to match up with what we believe. I can't have you on there talking about all type of weird stuff. Now I got to interrupt your regular scheduled programming with a word from the president. We interrupted her. Hey, she was crazy. I apologize. I ain't know. We don't agree with that. Everybody block her in Jesus' name right now. Show me, screenshot the block. No, man, but I just mean that you just got to be careful. Here's why you got to be careful. I had a young brother tell me he heard a word on Devo Energy. He named his child off of what one of those words were. Think about that. He said, I heard that word, man. He said, man, that word blessed me. I named my newborn baby after that word. And I was like, wow, that's a powerful thing. So I just have to be very responsible with it. So I'm excited about Devo Energy. To everybody who's giving, here's a good place to clap. We've been able to fix what we need to fix, take care of every bill we need to take care of, still be a blessing to students, still help families, still do everything we need to do. And we haven't raised a special offering yet. That is a good place to clap, church. I personally believe that an informed church is a great church. What does that mean, Pastor Mike? I like telling you what's happening. It's not because we got $1 million donor. It's not because somebody put $50 million in the bank. It's because your $5 and my 25 cents and this person's $100. Everybody's just doing their part, and it just makes it so easy. And one of the things in the African American church that has been a foothold on the black church is that we just never have resources. And because we never have resources, every black church for the most part is having to cut corners and do things. So now it becomes all about money. That's not our testimony. I am excited that I never had to beg. I never had to lie. I never had to promise you by the time you get home. It's just people who have a revelation of what serving God is, and that's what it is. And because of that, I'm a tither. I believe in tithing. Pastor Robert Madu with Social Dallas reached out to me and said, Pastor Mike, what you're doing is inspiring us on such another level. He sent us a check for $15,000 for our children's wing. That was just a blessing, man. I had another member literally drive from Mississippi and bring a check to say, Pastor Mike, I know we need some carpet. So it's just everybody coming together, and I believe that needs to be said. Because so many times, many of us grew up in a church where they had that thermometer that never moved and nothing ever got fixed. Who know what I'm talking about, that church thermometer? Who remember the building fund, and it still ain't a building right now? No, I'm just excited that God's given us the ability to do it the right way. We're being good stewards. And the most powerful thing that has been said to me on a business side of this church is that the president of the bank literally looked at Tiffany and I in a meeting, and he said, if you don't mind, I would like to use you guys as a model for how to operate with integrity and transparency. And that blew my mind, man. I mean that, man. It blew my mind. Because one of the knocks in being a young pastor is, can he handle responsibility? But I'm wild enough to keep people around me who know what we're doing. So to all 4 of our CPAs and to everybody who's given, I just want to say thank you, because you allow me to be able to buy uniforms for Ramsey. What we're doing right now is Ramsey has a bowling team, one of the only bowling teams in the city school. And I went to the bowling match and realized they didn't even have bowling balls or bowling bags. So this upcoming season, we're making sure everybody on their team has their own bag, their own ball. We're able to be a blessing to so many things, man. So, and not just that, on top of how we help families, and you'll never hear me tell me what bills we pay or how we help people. That's people's personal business, and I don't believe in doing all that, because I used to be that kid standing in line to get food and doing all that stuff, and they talk to you any kind of way. So I always told God, if he ever put me in a position, I would make helping people a blessing, not a burden. So that's what we try to do. So I said all that to tell everybody, whether you put 1 cent or $1 million in here, whether you're a tither or every now and then you give, I just personally want to say thank you. And I just mean from the bottom of my heart, you help us impact the entire world. So I just want to say thank you for that right there. I love you. If you're giving today, you know how to give. You can text IROC with the amount you wish to give to 28950. To my mother who mails hers in, what's her name? Miss Denise Allen, who still sends hers in the mail. God bless you, woman of God. You can mail it to 1120 Africa. No, we got a new church address. What's the new address? 2545 Valleydale Road, Birmingham, Alabama, 35244. And I'm sorry, I'm in Valleydale. 35244. 35244. No, man, but I'm excited about it. I love you so much. Also, be on the lookout. This means a lot to me. So many of our children can't read, and that means a lot to me, man. I dealt with that issue in my home with one of my boys. They just weren't reading at the level I wanted them to read. One thing about Rock City Prep, they are good at what they do. We're having a literacy camp this year. So if you want to bring your children somewhere where they're going to learn and pick things up quickly, bring them to Rock City Prep. That would mean a lot. I just want to make sure we have everything we need. I believe it'll be located in Forestdale, right? So yeah, I know that's most of y'all, some of y'all live over here, wherever. I'm telling you to be worth it. What they're able to do, you're gonna see a direct result in their child. They're so cold-blooded, I hired one of the teachers to help my boys because he's cold-blooded at what he does. I don't know how long I'm gonna have him. Every teacher at our school is so good. Every year I'm like, God, I pray I could just keep him. I'm probably not even paying them enough. So I'm like, Lord, just let this be a ministry for them in Jesus' name. But God's blessing us to where we're able to be competitive now. So I'm telling you, get your children at a certain level so they can have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Somebody say amen. All right, that's all my announcements. I love you. I'm praying for you. We're not open yet. Somebody say yet. But I believe we are so close. You see the footage. Children's Wing is beautiful. Look at that door. They have Rock City Kids on the door. Everything's coming. The men's restroom is almost done. I didn't just fix the men and the women's restroom. I also fixed the children's restroom to make sure they had little seats that fit them and different things like that. So I'm excited about that. Oh my God, the sanctuary is almost done practically. They are pressure washing the roof. I want to make sure we have a building of excellence that you can look at and be proud of. And I want you to know we love you so much and we're believing God for it. Also, do me a favor, do the aerial shot, Dre. When you come to our property, you'll be able to see 2 apartment complexes or whatever across the street. I want to believe by faith that that's going to be ours, that everything on this side of the street will be ours. So as a church, let's pray, position, and posture ourselves. How dope would it be when you came from Maryland? You didn't have to get a hotel room for a discounted rate. You can just stay right there at your church spot in Jesus' name. And all those funds help our school and do what it needs to do. We're trying to be creative. So I love you so much. I want to pray a very simple prayer, and it's this: Lord, your will. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else. It's in Jesus' name. And everyone said, we are Rock City. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Love y'all so much.
Wow. Another powerful, like we said, I expected it, so I'm not surprised. Another powerful worship experience. Wow. I pray that you've been blessed the way I have. I'm sure you have. I'm sure you were blessed by the word. And maybe you say, you know what, that word really touched me, James, in a special way. And I heard God speaking to me through this word. And I want to give my life to Christ, or I want to become a part of the Rock City family. It's easy. All you got to do is text the word home to 28950. We will give you the steps. We will walk you through it. Once again, you see it on the screen. Text home to 28950. And the reason we're able to touch, like you say, the world is because of the faithfulness and the commitment to giving that Rock City, the principle of generosity. It comes from a life that is willing to give, becomes a life that freely gives. And so, you're giving, if you're giving today, how can they do that?
They can text the amount you wish to give to 28950.
Yes,
I rock, and the amount you wish to give to 28950, man. We're excited.
Yeah.
This was incredible, man.
It was. And it's so incredible that, this is a place where it's good ground. You see what God is doing. You see how God is moving through Rock City. You see what he's doing through our pastor. And like we always say, when you give to Rock City, you don't give to a church, you give through a church and all that we're able to do. Tomorrow morning, Devo Energy. Let's go. 7:21 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Get up.
We're going to discuss this word that we just heard all week long and how we can apply it to our lives on a daily basis. That's how we grow together. And we need you to lock in with us on Facebook and YouTube tomorrow morning at 7:21 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Absolutely.
Now, family, that's all we got this week. We are excited. Remember, we're waiting on 2 words. We're still virtual now, but when you get the text that says it's on, just know that it's on.
Don't start nothing, Jay. Don't start nothing.
Keep praying with us. Keep praying with us. Keep believing God with us. And don't forget, we need your help. It's not too late. Text I serve to 28950. That's I serve to 28950. We're going to be moving things, cleaning, prayer team. We're going to be praying over the building, praying over the parking spots, and we need your help. We need everybody. All hands on deck. Y'all, we love you so much. Thank you for rocking with us, and we can't wait to see you again. Until then, God bless you. Love you. Peace.
In the midst of innovating situation, in the midst of these difficult times that we find ourselves in, I believe the answer to what many of us are feeling right now is very simplistic in nature. And it's very simplistic in nature, and it can be summarized and succinctly stated in one statement: keep the faith. I think that's strong right there. Keep the faith. And I've been teaching for a while in the midst of this series entitled Big, that many of us are suffering from faith trauma. Many of us are suffering from faith trauma. Now let's define trauma. Trauma defined means it's referred to a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. Trauma refers to a deeply distressing or disturbing experience. So then, faith trauma happens when people have a disturbing, disappointing experience in the past that affects their ability to believe big in the future. It is when someone has a disturbing, disappointing experience in the past, Daryl, that affects their ability to believe big in the future. So what am I realizing? I want you to understand that many of you right now, it's hard to keep the faith when you lost faith. When things have happened in your past that is pulling you from God instead of pushing you to God. I don't know who I'm talking to early in this little lesson of mine, but many of us right now, we have to understand, and Dr. Darius Daniels says something that was so apropos for the season we're in. He says sometimes the enemy doesn't damage the thing to damage the thing. He damages the thing to damage your faith. Sometimes the enemy doesn't damage the thing to damage the thing. He damages the thing to damage your faith. What am I talking about, PMJ? What if that breakup wasn't even about your heart? It was about your faith. He knew if you could lose trust in people, how can I trust something I don't see when the people I interact with daily are breaking my heart? It's called faith trauma. And in the natural, put this in the notes all over. I want you to put this in your notes right here. Put this in the comments. In the natural, we refer to faith trauma as trust issues. That's rich. In the natural, we refer to trauma as trust issues. Now do me a favor, if you're watching online all over the world, if you had some trust issues, I want you to sit on the edge of your seat right here, because here are 3 signs that you are having trust issues. Sign number 1, you don't believe in what's said. You don't believe in what's said. That's critical right there. And I told you this about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that faith, I can only depend on what you say, and it's based off of the character of who said it. That's rich right there. 2 people can tell you it's raining outside. If one is a habitual liar, or if one has let you down before in the past, you won't take them at their word because of their track record. But I'm so grateful. I pray you can receive this. God is not a man. He don't lie. He can't lie. This is critical. So what do we realize? And I want to suggest to many of you watching right now that the reason your faith is under attack, put this in your notes, is because of too much. Your faith is under attack right now because of too much. I want to run a couple things right here. Too much, put this in your notes, information. Too much information, too many. When we log on Facebook, there are too many wrong stories. I was tripping the other day on Facebook. Somebody started posting all these different things you can do to get coronavirus and all these things to test yourself at home. And then in the comments, it said, read at the bottom, this is a fake article. But it had been shared over 5,000 times. And I realized we live in a culture now where they read headlines, not stories. Preach, PMJ. That mic can preach right there. They read headlines, not story. That may be why when people see you, they look at you and think they saw a ghost, because they read the headline that you fell off, but they didn't read the line in the story that said, but God kept you in perfect peace. They read the headline that y'all broke up, but they didn't read the story that said, but you went on and became everything God called you to be. Do me a favor. If you're watching right now, the greatest mistake people can make is reading headlines and not stories. My headline may say I got sick, but that's not how. I wish I could preach. The story ends. The headline said a guy playing to be the Messiah was crucified on Friday. But if they didn't read the story, they don't realize on the 3rd day, he got up with all power in his hand. Too much, watch this, of the wrong information. Too much of the wrong information. Can you zoom all the way out right now? Camera one, I want them to see this. Too much of the wrong information. Thank you, camera two. Right now, the headline is reading, churches are closing all over America, but the story is there are a couple of us who can still meet and have church just a little bit. And we're gonna bring the faith to where you are. See, they thought when they closed the door, they were closing your praise. But from wherever you are right now, I want you to praise God so much so that the devil realizes that he can't stop your praise, he can't stop your worship, he can't stop your gratefulness. Why? Because my story is yet to be written, because God isn't through with me yet. So hear me when I say this. I like that now. Too much of the wrong information. Watch this. It eats away at my faith. Too much, watch this, negative media. Too much negative media can eat away at my faith because they're pushing fear instead of faith. And I came to ask a question tonight that grandmama asked. I'm scared to ask this question. I want to ask a question grandmama would ask. Whose report? Will you believe? We shall believe the report. Get the organ ready. I may have church right here by myself because before I came on stage, Fox 6 sent alert out that said the first coronavirus patient has just been sent home, meaning that the first person that it was reported for that had to go under treatment is now in a place where they're leaving the hospital and making their way to their home. And I want to declare that there is a wave of healing about to overtake this city and overtake our lives. Hear me. Trust issues. Somebody say trust issues. Now, we got to understand trust issues manifest because we don't believe what people say, but I want to argue that it is analogous. It is analogous. It is similar. It is symbiotic, that when you have a hard time trusting people, it bleeds into your ability to trust God. And I want to suggest to you that many of you right now are having a hard time. How do I know I'm having trust issues? You don't believe what God says. It's time for us to raise our voice. Can I ask you a question? It's so many negative memes out, so many jokes, so many bad reports, so many false reports. I want to argue now is the time for the church to raise its voice. I'm going to argue last week, look at how God works in our life. 2 weeks ago, we shut our whole city down with something called #FaithTalk. And people were so inspired because they realized that there was something good to ingest. How do I know I'm having trust issues, faith issues? Put this in your notes. You always expect the worst. I want to come against self-sabotaging. That's rich right there. I want to come against self-sabotaging. So many people get to a place in my life, your faith is not where it needs to be. So you say things like, I'm not going to get excited because this is just too good to be true. I'm not going to get excited because it ain't going to last forever. I'm going to have a praise break by myself. The devil is a liar. I declare what God has for you, it is for you. Stop expecting the worst. I want to speak the best over your life. Now, hear me when I say this. How else do I know I have faith issues, trust issues? Put this in your notes. You keep God at a distance. You have faith issues, trust issues. You keep God at a distance. You rely too heavily on your own intellect, your own ability, your own resources, your own connections. You keep God at a distance. And I want to suggest that there is a danger in distance. When you don't allow God to get close, will you let God get close? But watch this. Some of us let God get close, but not too close. We allow God in. I may say this, Curtis. We allow God in what we want him in. We kind of got God off to a side, so we let him in our finances, but we don't touch who we dating. Yeah, we might let him in the relationship, but we won't let him in our pocketbook. I'm saying God wants to be a part of everything that we do. Now, here's a new buzzword that I've been teaching you guys, a new buzzword that's been out right now called social distancing. Social distancing. And I want to suggest to you that social distancing should lead to spiritual intimacy. Social distancing should lead to spiritual intimacy. Now, here's what's critical, and the Holy Spirit laid this on my heart. The CDC is asking us to stay how far apart? 6 feet. He's saying keep us 6 feet apart. Now, when you die, they bury you 6 feet. So what we don't realize is first the natural, then the spiritual. So what's happening is the health department is saying, I want you to remain 6 feet apart because at the right distance, stuff die. I don't think you heard what I just said. At the right distance, stuff die. I want to suggest that there are certain people in your life you should have been gave 6 feet to. There are certain habits you should have been gave 6 feet to. There are certain places you should have been gave 6 feet to. But the problem is, here it is, whenever you give the wrong thing 6 feet, the wrong stuff die. Preach, Mike McClure. So when it comes to my giving, I can't give tithe in 6 feet. I don't need my finances to die. When it comes to my prayer life, I can't give prayer life 6 feet because I may lose my anointing and my power. And I want to suggest to you today, Psalms 91:1, it can go to church here. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High. That means I have to be in connection to God. Distancing 6 feet. Because at 6 feet, I feel like I'm safe. If anything flies out my mouth, I feel like it won't hit you at 6 feet. And I want to suggest that many of you, there are certain relationships that aren't a sin to be in, but they're toxic to your development. They are toxic, I might have church, to your process. It's toxic to where God is trying to take you. And whenever social distancing, and I want to suggest to you, social distancing should lead to spiritual intimacy. And if not, it will cause personal toxicity. Whenever social distancing does not lead to spiritual intimacy, it causes personal toxicity, okay? Here it is. You so worried about what they gonna give you. I wanna argue, if you don't stay close to God, what you gonna give you? Michael, what are you gonna give you? Can I suggest to you an idle mind is the devil's workshop. I want to suggest that if you practice social distancing without practicing spiritual intimacy, you gonna be your worst enemy. Now, I know you're not gonna say amen, but I want to break the internet right here. If you're on this live and you're not afraid to be honest, because they don't know who you are anyway, I want you to say, that's me, Pastor, if I'm talking to you. I can sit around by myself long enough and think myself into depression. You ought to type, that's me. I can sit around myself long enough and think about all the dumb stuff people did to me and get mad all over again. You ought to type, that's me. I can sit by myself and think about myself and stop liking some of the moves I make. You should have hit the heart too. I came to suggest that you're not going to be isolated by yourself. You're not in an asylum. You're in consecration. And God is about to shift your mind. He's about to shift your spirit. He's about to shift your heart. Why? I'm getting closer and I'm getting stronger. Somebody shall come close. That's critical. That's critical. I felt God right there. Whenever social distancing doesn't lead to spiritual intimacy. Now let me free you. In other words, the government is saying, give me space. But God ain't. Help me, Holy Ghost. God, there used to be something biblically called leprosy. There used to be something biblically called leprosy, and lepers had to live on the outside of the city. Here it is. I wasn't supposed to touch them, and every time I saw them, they had to shout unclean. Every time we met them, they had a sickness. It was a plague going around, people getting sick, leprosy. Every time they walked around, they had to shout unclean. They made them live on the outskirts of the city in a quarantine-like environment. All sick people, y'all go over here, all right? All sick people, y'all go over here. Here's my only problem with that. And the folk who had power to heal wouldn't go to them. But then Jesus says, no, that's who I want to be around. I want to suggest that if you're not careful, you're going to be distancing yourself from people who are anointed to help call you out of some stuff that'll keep you bondage. I want to argue, is this not good? Whenever social distancing does not lead to spiritual intimacy, it will cause personal toxicity. These are the signs that you have trust issues. And I want to suggest to you, whenever you don't walk in faith, you walk in fear. Okay, I want to do something. I want to do something that may not be popular, but I feel the Holy Spirit leading me right here to call a virtual altar call in the middle of this message. If you have some fear, if you have some high concerns, if you have been finding yourself worrying, I just want you to type, "That's me" right there, Pastor. And what's going to happen? I feel God breaking loose online right now. I feel God breaking loose online right now. That I want you to be bold. If you've been walking in fear, if you've been overly worried, if you've been overly concerned, say, "Pastor, that's me." And when you see somebody say, "That's me," I want you to begin to pray over that name right there. Because God, has not given us the spirit of fear, but he's given us he has not given us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. I declare, as we pray for you, peace is coming to your house. Strength is coming to your prayer life. You're being refilled and reflourished. The devil will have you in the house losing your mind. The devil will have you in your house losing your mind, worrying about how you're going to pay bills. I know you got bills stacking up. I know you may have been laid off. I know you're concerned and got 3 and 4 kids, and you got to make a decision now on how do I stay at home with them and go to work. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging for bread. I want to declare our church and other churches like our church are about to walk into overflow, and we're going to meet every need that needs to be met. God is about to show himself strong. It's time for the church to be the light in the midst of darkness. Somebody shout, "I receive that." Faith, fear. Which one you gonna pick? Faith, fear. Which one you gonna pick? I want to give you this. Faith makes heaven move. Fear makes hell move. Faith pleases God. Fear pleases the devil. You don't believe me? Hebrews 11:6. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. Now I want you to catch this. Fear is to hell. Fear is to hell what faith is to heaven. Did you catch that? Fear is to hell what faith is to heaven. Make that make sense, PMJ. Faith is the currency of heaven. You missed what I just said. If you believe in God for anything, I told you this past weekend, what do I need from my church? I need you believing, keeping the faith, and modeling. Y'all forgot, I taught you how to model, didn't you? Need to be modeling. What does that mean, PMJ? Show everybody in your family how to keep the faith. Show everybody in your family how to pray. You be the one on social media not sharing silly memes and disappointing, depressing people. You model what God is asking you to do, because faith moves heaven. That's critical. That's critical. That's critical. Trust issues. But if we're going to overcome our trust issues, we got to look at something called, put this in the notes. Somebody write this for somebody who's not taking notes. Historical faith. I felt God right there. If you feel God and you watching me right now, I just need you to hit that heart. That's your way of shouting, preacher. That's your way of saying amen. It's called historical faith. Make that make sense, PMJ. Make that make sense, PMJ. It's checking God's track record. I ain't got but 7 minutes left, and I'm trying to keep myself composed. It's called historical faith. It is when you put God's track record to the test. Did God heal leprosy? Did he open blinded eyes? Did he wake Lazarus from the dead? Did he wake himself up out the grave? Did he keep us through the epidemic and the Tuskegee experiment? If God did all that, the same God is able to do it now. Somebody say trust. 4 things I want to give you. Trust. Let's define trust. Assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. It is assured reliance on the character, ability, strength, or truth of someone or something. Trust. Okay, my boys. I preach about my boys a lot. I love my babies. My boys. I never forget. I told Mace what I was going to do for him for getting good grades. So we're going to throw a big water slide party. It's going to be the biggest party you ever seen. All right. I tell Mace that next thing I know, we're getting calls from the parents in his class. The parents saying, "Hey, when is this party?" My wife was like, "What are you talking about?" Mason said his dad said he's having an end of the year party. Lady said, "But we haven't really decided." Mace was so assured He trusted, put trust at the bottom of the screen, the definition of trust, so they can really get that. He has such an assured reliance on the character and the ability of his daddy to come through. Watch this, that before he got a date, before he got an invitation, he was already telling people, watch this, what was about to happen. I don't know who I'm preaching to. Maybe you're sick, maybe you're broke, maybe you're lonely, maybe you ain't got what you said you was gonna get yet. If God said it, before you get evidence, you better start sharing what God is about to do in your life. For we walk by faith and not by. So let's look at this. I gotta go. Put this in your notes, 4 reasons you should trust God. Number 1, he's conscious. That's critical. This means he's aware. So do not be like them, Matthew 6:8. For your Father knows what you need before you even ask. Oh my God. Try not to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs right here. I'm finna read it out the Message version. Oh my God. Rock City, we would have told the church up right here. Message version, look what it says. The world is full of so-called prayer warriors who are prayer ignorant. They're full of formulas and programs and advice, peddling techniques for getting what you want from God. Don't fall for all that nonsense. This is your Father you're dealing with, and he knows better than you what you need. With a God like this loving you, you can pray, watch this, very simply like this. Our Father, preach Mike, who is in heaven, reveal who you are. Set the world right. I want to pause for a minute and declare, God, things are out of hand right now. Things are going left real quickly. So I declare what you said. This is the word. Our Father who art in heaven, show yourself strong. How you going to show yourself strong? Set the world right. Do what's best. As above, so below. Keep us alive with 3 square meals. Keep us forgiven with you. Keep us safe from ourselves and the devil. You're in charge. I just want to leave that right there. I thank God for our beautiful mayor. You're doing a phenomenal job, brother. I stand behind you. I thank God for our commissioners. I thank God for all of our city council. I thank God for all of our city leaders. I thank God for every pastor who's doing what you feel is best for you and your church. I thank God for the leadership of this church. But leadership of Rock City, I'm not talking to you. Government, I'm not talking to you. God, you're in control. God, Yadama, you're in charge. God, we can come up with the perfect plan, and that plan can go left. But God, if we trust in you with all our heart and lean not to our own understanding, watch this, you're ablaze in beauty. Yes. Y'all missed that. Yes, that's 3 of them things. Yes, that's 3 of them things. Yes. Yes, I need everybody watching me to just type yes, for the promises of God are yes and amen. The promises of God are yes and amen. I declare your children are blessed. Yes, your family is covered. Yes, our economy will survive. Yes, no sickness shall be unto death. Yes, God is not giving you the spirit of fear. Yes, everything in your life is about to stabilize. Yes, no bill shall get behind. Lack shall not have your life. Yes, I need somebody to believe that God is not dead. You ought to shout, yes, 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 to your will, yes, to your way, yes, I'll go, yes. Look at your pastor. I know you're concerned. It's real. I know you're concerned. It's real. I know you're worried. That's real. I know you're concerned. It's real. I know you're tripping. You're human. You're human. Jesus looked into a cup and started tripping. Jesus looked into a cup and said, that's how I got to die. I got to be crucified. I got to get beat with a cat of nine tails. I got to wear a crown of thorns. I got to be marched from judgment hall to judgment hall. I got to watch my boy betray me. I got to watch every disciple who's been walking with me leave me. He said there has to be another way. Watch this. But nevertheless, thy will. I need somebody with a nevertheless in your spirit. I need somebody with a nevertheless in your spirit that realize God has not forsaken you. He has not left you. He has not abandoned you. We will still see the goodness of God. I have a prophetic declaration that every heathen and every hater and every atheist is going to laugh at, but the people of faith are about to receive it. This will still be a big year for you. This will still be a big year for you. This will still be a big year for you. Doors are still going to open. Yokes are still going to be destroyed. Yes! He's conscious. Number two, he's concerned. 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7. Therefore, humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your cares upon him, for he cares for you. Yes, he cares about you. Cast it. Cast. Give it to God. Look at me. I want to be very real with you. Pastor Mike, that's easy for you to say. No, I have a school on the other side of town right now with 130 students. I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna get groceries and make sure they got everything they need. It's a private school, no government funding. I got salaries I gotta pay for the next 8 to 10 weeks with no income coming in. And I'm saying I'm not laying nobody off if I can help it. No, we're gonna walk in faith. I've never seen the righteous forsaken. I don't know who I'm preaching to in here. I'm casting that to God. I got families right now. Our church probably has about 300 names on a list saying, Pastor, utilities, how I'm gonna do that? Then the government said, don't worry about that. Well, how I'm gonna feed my children? We're the city's church, Rock City. We have a heart for the city, for those within our ministry. I'm telling you, he's concerned about you. Help me, God. He's concerned. How do I know he's concerned, Pastor Mike? He can't handle what's still in your hand. He can't handle what's still. You gotta give it to God. Grandmama would sing a song, turned it over to the Lord, and he worked it out. Ty Tribbett came 30 years later and said, work it, work it, work it, work it, work it. They're saying the same thing, only different, the beat change. All they're saying is, if you got a bill, if you got a problem, yes, there are some things you can do, use wisdom. But after you've done all you can, let God work that out. Trust him. Let God be your first option, not your last resort. That's good. He's concerned. How do I know he's concerned? They roll up on him, Rod, and they say, how we go? Jesus says, how we gonna feed these people? Keep in mind, nobody in the Bible ever asked for food. Nobody in the story ever said they were hungry. Watch this. Before the first stomach growled, he was working on dinner. Before the first kid looked at their mama and said, I'm hungry, I need a snack, he was already working on. So before I had a problem, he was working on my answer. I want to say this, before we knew about Corona, he had already died for that. And it said we were wounded. He was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of peace was laid upon him, and by his stripes. Watch this. Watch this. Look at me. God ain't looking for a cure. We are. Look at me. God's not looking for a cure. We are. No, the cure is already available. It's our turn now to put the thing in motion. We're not waiting on God. He's consistent. He's the same yesterday. Consistent mean he does not change. Now let me free you real quickly. Pastor Mike, look at me. I'm gonna let you go. Pastor Mike, how is God consistent and all these people getting sick? And how's he consistent? There were times where he didn't come through for me. I want to argue with you. He didn't change, you did. Malachi 3:6, I am the Lord, I do not change. That is why your descendants of Jacob are not already destroyed. That's powerful. He said, no, if I changed, y'all would have been died. But my grace. Listen to me real soft, Rod. Listen to me. We are so enamored by Jesus' divinity that we have ignored his devotion. We're so enamored by his divinity that we have ignored his devotion. In other words, we have become a body of Christ that is so desperate and thirsty for his power, we have ignored his principles. In fact, I realized that while I love God, I have spent the majority of my adult life and ministry emulating his divinity instead of duplicating his devotion. Our misplaced focus has caused us to desire the wrong stuff from the right God. Reformed theologian Mildred J. Eckertson contrasts God's characteristics in two categories. He calls them communicable and incommunicable. Watch this now. What are those? Communicable characteristics are things that can be said about God and us. Communicable characteristics are things that can be said about God and us. Watch this. Incommunicable characteristics are things that can only be said about God. Michael, let's break it down. What are some communicable characteristics? Kind, just, loving, gracious, good, forgiving. I can say my wife good and I can say God good. I can say my kids are kind and I can say God's kind. What's the problem, PMJ? It's the incommunicable characteristics. And many times we put our faith in the communicable, not the incommunicable. Make that make sense? Incommunicable characteristics, eternal. I'm not eternal, he is. He's immutable, unchanging. I'm fickle, I change every day. He's impeccable, I got imperfections. He's omnipotent, he's all powerful. I'm weak at times, I need to rest. He's omnipresent, although I'm streaming in your house, I can't reach out and touch you. But from where he is, he can lay hands on you and all of us at the same time. He's omniscient, I'm not science. He's all knowing, I don't have the answers. Last but not least, he's capable. Now unto him who is able to do far more abundantly above all we could ask or think, according to the power that works within us. I want to say this. Is there anything too hard for God? Our capability is always being measured. Sometimes we meet the standard, sometimes we don't. Now that you're ready to trust God, I want to look at something. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That is all your understanding, all your discernment, all your reflection, all your will. Watch this now. Don't follow your heart, lead it. Don't follow your heart, lead it. Don't follow your heart, lead it. Something in my 2 days ago, I'm gonna have an honest one with me. Fear tried to grip me for a quick second, and I told my chief financial officer, don't spend a dime, don't do nothing, put all that money up, we're not gonna touch anything. I woke up this morning convicted and said, we the church. This is why we've been tithing all these years. This is why we've been giving. It's time to shut it down for God. It's time to make sure children can eat. It's time to make sure we got people that forget Uber, where we can bless certain men in our church to pick up medication for other people. And it's time for us to make sure your life is all that God called it to be. We've been working all day, all week, saying, no, it's time for God to be seen in the city. That's why I commend the Church of the Highlands for opening their facility. That way testing can be done because they have a facility big enough. And I pray more churches will have that opportunity to do things like that, to find their part. I commend Christian Service Missions, who's about to feed hundreds of thousands of people. I commend a new rising star who's setting up food boxes for anybody who needs food. It's not about Rock City. It's not about that church or this church. It's about the body. I may not be the head, but if I can just be a thumb, I'll do what God is calling me to do. Now I want you to catch this. Can I trust you with your whole heart? Can God trust you wholeheartedly? Here's the picture of trust. The picture of trust is whole heart. Put this in your notes. The picture of trust is giving God my whole heart. All right? The proof, did somebody write that? picture of trust is giving God my whole heart. The proof of trust is lean on him. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That's the picture of trust. Now lean. Lean. Put your weight on me. I can hold you. Put your weight on me. Lean. When somebody asks you how you holding up, tell them I'm leaning. When somebody asks you how you making it and you ain't got the money you used to have, tell them I'm leaning. When somebody say, I heard you were diagnosed and how your body feeling, I'm leaning. No more negative confessions. Well, pray for me, I'm struggling. Pray for me, I ain't got nothing. Right now, I'm leaning. Leaning on Jesus, Christ my Savior. I'm safe and secure from all around. Lean on him. So the picture of trust is leaning. The proof of trust is leaning. Last but not least, let's go quickly. The picture of trust is a whole heart. The proof of trust is when I lean on him and not myself. I paid my tithe today and I was so proud. Why, Pastor Mike? I know what it's going to accomplish right now. Yeah, I was excited today. I give weekly to the school and I was excited to do that. I got 2 or 3 organizations, nonprofits that count on me every month. I told them, you can still count on me. I know people pulling out, but you can count on me. Yeah, I want to push you right here. My barber, whether I get a haircut or not, is still going to get what I get him for my haircut. Because he has a family. George, shout out to the famous Perfect Cuts over in Central Park across the street from my church. I'm going to make sure he can count on that. He has a kid. He has a family. I'm leaning on God right now. The picture of trust is a whole heart. The proof of trust is leaning on him. The product of trust is a direct path. If I give him my whole heart, if I keep trusting him and stay faithful to the things God has called me to do, faithful in my prayer, faithful in my loving, let me pause and parenthetically digress. I am so proud of my city right now. The way I'm seeing us come together, the way I'm seeing us speak well of each other, the way I'm seeing people love on each other, the way I'm seeing compassion in our hearts. Nobody's making fun of people who gets coronavirus. Nobody's saying crazy stuff. Even enemies are working together right now. And God causes all things to work together for our good. Father, I pray that we keep the faith. I pray, God, that when this storm settles, God will be able to say, well done. I pray right now that we don't give in to fear, but we trust God. God, I lift up every person watching me right now. Calm their fear.